She ain't never tell me the truth about that night, not once. That's the exact moment. Jim Jones snapped live, unfiltered eyes, red voice cracking while thousands watched on stream, and no, this ain't no love and hip-hop scene. This is real-life betrayal. And it just exploded in front of the entire internet. So what really went down between Chrissy and Cameron, and why is Jim just now bringing up that night after years of silence? Because according to Jim, the betrayal wasn't just romantic, it was personal, political, and possibly planned. Now, here's where it gets messy. Jim's own son is allegedly backing the story, claiming he overheard whispers about Chrissy and Cam back when he was a kid. What kind of grown woman mess goes that deep? And get this, moments after Jim's podcast Meltdown went viral, an anonymous voicemail leaked, and if you listen closely, the voice sounds a whole lot like Cameron. This isn't just drama, this is a full-blown scandal with receipts, betrayal, and a body count of broken trust. And trust me, this is just the beginning. You won't believe what just went down in the world of hip-hop drama. And no, this isn't some recycled beef or old gossip you've heard 100 times. This is fresh, messy, and borderline explosive. The kind of scandal that drags in decades-old secrets, broken loyalties, and makes even the most casual fans stop and ask, wait, what? It all kicked off when Jim Jones, yes, the Jim Jones, lost it, like totally lost it, during a live podcast, not some edited YouTube clip, but raw, unfiltered, lived to thousands of fans who were tuning in for the usual chit-chat, not this full-blown meltdown. She betrayed me after that night with Cameron, and I can't forgive her, Jim shouted, voice cracking and eyes wide. If you thought Chrissy Lannon and Cameron's rumored past was just some tabloid rumor, think again. According to Jim, this night was a turning point, and it wasn't just about a cheating scandal, but to understand why Jim is so heated, you have to rewind that up. A few years back, Chrissy Lannon, famous for her fiery personality on Love and Hip Hop, has always been no stranger to controversy, but add Cameron, the legendary Harlem rapper with a history as colorful as his pink polo shirts, into the mix. That's a recipe for chaos. Rumors have swirled for years that Chrissy and Cameron had something going on behind closed doors, a secret they managed to keep under wraps despite the constant spotlight. But fans and insiders always wondered why Jim Jones never publicly addressed it until now. And it's not just any denial that's missing. According to sources close to the Dipset crew, Jim was quiet because the betrayal was deeper than anyone imagined, involving family business deals and even Cameron's close circle. Here's the kicker. Jim's own son recently surfaced in the drama. According to an anonymous tip we received, the young Jones allegedly overheard conversations about that night years ago. The son's version, Chrissy's affair with Cameron wasn't just a one-time mistake, it was part of a bigger betrayal that shook their whole family. This isn't just gossip, we've got insiders claiming Jimson even confronted Chrissy privately, demanding answers. What was her reaction? Silent, cold, avoidant, the kind of silence that says you know exactly what you did. Just as if the story wasn't already explosive, a mysterious voicemail leaked online right after Jim's podcast Meltdown. The voice on the recording unconfirmed, but it sounds suspiciously like Cameron, calm, collected, and cryptic. The message hinted at secrets being kept and promises broken. It ended with a chilling line: some things were never meant to be public, but the truth always finds a way. Naturally, this voicemail sent social media into a frenzy. Fans of Dipset started picking sides, some defending Jim's heartbreak and anger, others questioning if Chrissy was being unfairly dragged into a battle between two hip-hop heavyweights. Almost immediately, hashtags exploded on Twitter and Instagram. Jim the Fifth's Chrissy Cameron night and betrayal leaks started trending worldwide. Memes, reaction videos, and conspiracy theories flooded feeds. The fan theories ranged from Chrissy was Amber Sturman to Jim is losing his mind, to the wildest claims about secret deals and shady backroom politics. It was the kind of viral chaos that only a true hip-hop scandal can deliver. And don't think Chrissy stayed quiet. Oh no, though she hasn't addressed the rumors directly yet, her social media activity changed overnight. Suddenly her posts went from glamorous selfies to cryptic quotes about truth and loyalty, only fueling more speculation. Many wondered why Jim waited so long to bring this up. Why now? Well, insiders say it wasn't a random outburst. The podcast was supposed to be a chill conversation about music and life, but Jim had been holding in years of frustration. Sources close to Jim say he found out Chrissy was involved in some new shady business with Cameron, details still unclear, that felt like the last straw. The betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was strategic, and it felt like a knife to the back. This scandal threatens to tear apart not just friendships but entire legacies. Dipset has always been about loyalty and family, and to see one of their own explode on a public platform is devastating. For Love and Hip Hop fanciest adds, yet Another layer of drama that blurs the lines between reality and scripted television, but for those paying close attention, this feels more real than ever. Jim's public meltdown has opened a can of worms that no one seems ready to close. Chrissy's silence is deafening. Cameron's cryptic voicemail only deepens the mystery, and Jim's son stepping forward adds a whole new twist. What's the truth behind that night? What secrets are still buried, and who will survive this messy public betrayal? But this is only the beginning, because if you thought the live podcast meltdown was wild, just wait until you hear the leaked conversations, new accusations, and unexpected alliances that started to surface right after Jim Jones blew up on that live podcast. Things didn't just simmer down, nope, they erupted as the dust settled. What started as a personal meltdown quickly turned into a full-blown investigation by fans, insiders, and even some unofficial sources who apparently had front-row seats to the drama. So here's what we dug up, and trust me, you'll want to buckle up, because this gets crazier than a reality TV reunion episode on steroids. First off, the so-called Cameron night wasn't just some casual hangout. According to multiple anonymous sources close to the situation, this was a lavish late-night party filled with industry heavyweights, wild drinks, and a whole lot of backroom whispers. One insider described it as a powder keg of tension, where Chrissy was seen laughing a little too closely with Cameron, the kind of behavior that had people whispering, something's definitely off here. And it wasn't just the usual hip-hop glitz. There were reports of secret meetings behind closed doors, phone calls that ended abruptly when certain people entered the room, and text messages that disappeared before anyone could screenshot them. Sources say these texts weren't just flirty, they hinted at business deals that could shake up the Deepens empire. Chrissy allegedly played a bigger role behind the scenes than anyone suspected, managing connections that could rival some of the biggest names in the game. Remember, this isn't just about personal betrayal, this is about power control, and who really holds the cards in this complicated game of fame and fortune. As the story unfolded, another layer emerged: money. Yeah, the green stuff. There are rumors swirling that Chrissy has been dipping into some financial streams that Jim thought were off limits. Think extravagant shopping sprees, secret bank accounts, and even alleged misuse of funds tied to joint ventures. One source close to Jim claimed he thought they were partners in everything, but apparently Chrissy's been playing a different game, and that's what really stings. Public reactions, as expected, were a rollercoaster. Social media exploded, with fans dissecting every clip, every Instagram story, every vague tweet from both sides. One tweet read, "Jim's heartbreak is real, but how much of this is smoke and mirrors? Share dips at drama." Another fan chimed in, "Chrissy's silence speaks volumes. What's she hiding? Camera night mystery." Of course, the memes started flying, to some mercilessly roasting Jim's emotional outburst, others painting Chrissy as the puppet master pulling strings in the background. But it wasn't just fans reacting. Industry insiders and former collaborators began weighing in, dropping cryptic hints about unfinished business and loyalties tested. Even a few well-known names close to Dipset privately expressed surprise at Jim's public airing of dirty laundry. The bigger question everyone's asking: what's next? How far will this fallout go? Well, the rumor mill hasn't stopped churning. Whispers about potential legal battles have started floating around. Some say Jim's team is consulting lawyers to look into possible breaches of contract in business fraud related to Chrissy's alleged side deals. Others speculate government agencies might even get involved, given the high-profile nature of the parties and possible financial misconduct. And don't forget the family angle. Jim's son, now publicly entangled in the drama, has reportedly been threatened by unknown parties, warning him to keep quiet. That's right, threats, real ones. This scandal isn't just making noise online, it's hitting real-life nerves. Meanwhile, Chrissy's camp has remained mostly tight-lipped, but dropped a few carefully crafted statements on social media, nothing directly addressing the accusations, but enough to stir the pot. Lines like, "Truth has a funny way of coming out," and "Loyalty is earned, not given." This cryptic messaging only fuels speculation that she's gearing up for a bigger reveal, possibly a tell-all interview, or a social media blitz to control the narrative. It's like watching a chess game where every move is calculated and no piece is safe. And speaking of pieces, we can't ignore Cameron's role in all this. His mysterious voicemail hinted at things never meant to be public, but what else is he hiding? Some sources say Cameron has been quietly negotiating new business deals, distancing himself from the chaos while watching the drama unfold from the sidelines. Others claim he's acting as a mediator behind the scenes, trying to keep the peace between Jim and Chrissy. Though obviously with limited success. An insider even suggested Cameron might be holding back some explosive info of his own, something that could either clear Chrissy or drag the entire crew deeper into scandal. The layers just keep piling on. Emotional wounds Financial intrigue, family betrayal, and business warfare all tangled together in a messy web, and just when you think you've heard it all, new rumors pop up, like the claim that a secret recording of a heated confrontation between Jim and Chrissy might leak soon, a tape where accusations fly, voices raise, and truths come crashing down. What's on that recording no one knows for sure, but if it ever sees the light of day, it could change everything. Meanwhile, fans and critics are split. Some rally behind Jim, calling him the wronged king, finally standing up other side, with Chrissy praising her strength to stay silent and powerful amid chaos, and the rest, they're just sitting back, popcorn in hand, waiting to see how this saga unfolds. But one thing is clear: this scandal isn't going away anytime soon. The damage to reputations is already done, and the ripples are spreading fast. So what does this mean for the future of Dipset, for the careers and relationships that have defined an era? Well, hold on tight, because part 3 is where we dive into the fallout, the legal threats, the family drama reaching boiling point, and the possible fallout that could rewrite hip-hop history. You thought this was just about jealousy and betrayal? Think again. This is power, legacy, and survival, all wrapped up in one explosive story. Stay tuned, because the truth is far from over now that we've peeled back the layers of betrayal, shady deals, and whispered threats. It's time to face the music, the fallout, because when Jim Jones exploded on that podcast accusing Chrissy of betrayal after the infamous Cameron night, he wasn't just venting, he was setting off a chain reaction that's shaking up the entire hip-hop world. First off, the legal storm is brewing darker than anyone expected. Sources close to Jim's legal team say they're gearing up to file multiple lawsuits. We're talking breach of contract, embezzlement, and even defamation. Jim's camp believes Chrissy's side moves and secret deals weren't just personal betrayals, they were outright business sabotage. Imagine that, folks, your own partner working behind your back to sabotage your empire. The drama writes itself. Meanwhile, Chrissy's response: radio silence. Well, almost. Her lawyers have reportedly sent cease and desist letters to several media outlets that started digging too deep. It's a classic power play, but it only fuels the rumors that she's got something serious to hide. And the public, they're eating this up. Social media is a war zone, with fans picking sides like it's a bloody Game of Thrones. Memes, heated debates, and conspiracy theories fly every minute. One trending hashtag Deepa divide. Yep, people are tweeting this like a family feud that's tearing the whole crew apart. But the most heartbreaking fallout might be closer to home. Jim's son, already dragged into the drama, is reportedly considering stepping away from the spotlight entirely. Insiders say the pressure has been overwhelming: threats, intimidation, and the weight of family betrayal hitting harder than any diss track ever could. And don't think this stays private. Sources tell us that family gatherings have turned icy, with Jim and Chrissy barely speaking. Friends close to family say it's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, heartbreaking and impossible to look away from. On the music front, industry insiders warned that Dipset's brand could take a massive hit. Sponsors and collaborators are reportedly reconsidering partnerships. Nobody wants to be caught in the crossfire of this explosive scandal. Some artists are even distancing themselves, publicly hinting at uncomfortable truths and lines that shouldn't be crossed. But here's where it gets even messier: whispers about a government probe. That's right, folks, the feds might be sniffing around financial irregularities, suspicious transactions, and possible money laundering tied to some of Chrissy's alleged side hustles have reportedly caught their attention. If that's true, this scandal could spiral way beyond just hip-hop gossip. Back in the court of public opinion, Chrissy finally broke her silence. Well, kind of. During a recent Instagram live, she hinted at hidden agendas and people wanting to tear us apart. She didn't name names, but everyone knows who she meant. Her words were equal parts defensive and mysterious, leaving fans wondering if she's planning a comeback or preparing a counterattack. Cameron, ever the wildcard, threw fuel on the fire by posting cryptic messages about loyalty and truths no one's ready for. Some speculate he might release a statement soon, or even sit down for a tell-all interview that could shake up the narrative even more. And what about Jim? The man at the center of the storm has been laying low, focusing on new music and sporadic social media posts that hint at pain, betrayal, but also resilience. One recent tweet read, "Sometimes the hardest battles are the ones you fight in silence." Poetic, sure. Heartbreaking, definitely. So where does this leave the legacy of Dipset? For years they were icons, legends of the game, but now their story is tangled in controversy, betrayal, and potential legal battles. Fans are left wondering if this is the beginning of the end, or just a messy chapter in a long saga. Here's the kicker: while the drama unfolds, new artists and rival crews are watching closely. Some see this as an opportunity To claim the spotlight, Dipet might be losing. The streets are buzzing with speculation about who will rise from Thish and who will be left behind. And let's not forget the bigger picture. This scandal isn't just about Jim, Chrissy, or Cameron, it's a mirror reflecting the complicated, often messy intersection of fame, power, and personal relationships in the music industry. It's about trust, betrayal, and what happens when the spotlight gets too hot to handle. So what's next? Will Jim Jones and Chrissy Lamont find a way to mend fences, or is this the final curtain call for one of hip-hop's most talked about couples? Will legal battles tear the crew apart for good, and what shocking revelations might still be lurking behind closed doors? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. This story is far from over, and you better stay glued because the next chapter could change everything. Now, before you go, I want to hear from you. What do you think about Jim's explosive accusations? Do you believe Chrissy's innocent, or is she playing a master game behind the scenes? Who do you think holds the real power in this saga, Jim, Chrissy, or Cameron? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're hooked on this drama, and make sure to subscribe for more breaking truths and exclusive updates. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of fame and fortune, the truth is often stranger than fiction. Alright fam, now that you've heard the shocking truth behind Jim Jones' explosive accusations and Chrissy Lampin's alleged betrayal, I want to know what you think. Is this just messy drama, or is there a deeper game being played? Who's really pulling the strings here? Jim, Chrissy, or Cameron? Drop your hottest takes and wildest theories in the comments below. Don't hold back. This is the place for all the truth seekers and drama lovers. And hey, if you're as hooked on this story as I am, smash that like button to show some love. Make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell, because trust me, this saga is just heating up and you don't want to miss a single explosive update. Stay tuned, stay woke, and remember, in the world of hip-hop and Hollywood, the truth is always juicier than thermers. Catch you in the next video. Oh.